All right, what's up, guys? It's Justin. It's just gonna be me today. Funk has some stuff to do. You know, we were supposed to record earlier than I had stuff on my end come up in the morning, so it happens. What can you do? Not gonna really get into much about what happened yesterday. We just had like a Philly stag. I kind of liked Cleveland, and they went crazy. Jose Ramirez had three strikeouts. He had three home runs. Spencer Strider gave up like eight earned. It was like his worst performance of the year, and of course we rostered him. I knew once the Phillies game was top of the sixth, 0-0, we were done for. Nothing we can do. Just moving on to today. Hopefully today's a better day to start the weekend off. So let's get into pitching really quick. So right now I have it based on top pitcher percentage. It's Shohei Ohtani, clear favorites, and then it kind of drops off. So we got Garrett Cole, Luis Castillo, Tyler Wells, Dylan Cease, Logan Allen. So so Shohei Ohtani right now is projecting out the best ownership at 36%. Then it goes to Tyler Wells, and then it goes Cole, Castillo. So Shohei Ohtani and the Angels are minus 120 favorites. If you'd rather be safe, now this is like a huge slate, so it might not even matter that much if I'm being honest. But I mean, Shohei on this big of a slate at 36%, you might as well just play him. Good matchup against Seattle. Seattle's been striking out a lot recently. Garrett Cole against Boston, it's a rivalry game. It's going to mean more. He's only projected for 8% ownership. You are paying 500 more than you would with Shohei. I think that's also the reason why that Shohei is gaining 36% ownership. Castillo is a little bit more expensive. They're underdogs against the Angels. He's only projected for 4%. I kind of like Castillo here, but I'm not so fond of this price tag here. But against the Angels, they're slight underdogs. It can go either way. Tyler Wells is a little interesting, 9,700 against Kansas City. Kansas City is in a great ball club right now. He's projected for 12% ownership. That's something you can do to get a little different. And if you've watched any of our videos before, I'm a big White Sox fan. I will always ride and die for this team, even when they're terrible. But Dylan Cease at 9.8 against Miami, projected for 3% ownership, is a little interesting to me. Dylan Cease hasn't been the Dylan Cease that we all know. He's been kind of up and down. He's been more down recently. I mean, I think that this would be a great opportunity for him to bounce back. He's 9,800 playing against Miami, and the record shows that Miami's pretty good, but they're due for some regression. I think this is a great bounce back spot for Dylan Cease. Everyone else is just brutal here. I don't really like anything else. The only reason Yu Darvish isn't really getting that much ownership is because it's at Coors. But I mean, just look at this ginormous slate. Look at all these pitchers and stuff. So let's move on to the stacks. Okay, so we're gonna move on to stacks. Let me share the screen really quick. So right now it has San Diego, Atlanta, Milwaukee, the Dodgers, the Mets. So there's a lot of different options you can go to today. So you got San Diego at Coors, 18% to be the top stack. Stack scored 13% right there. Atlanta against Josiah Gray. Josiah Gray is a good young prospect. He's been obviously like with the team and he's been pitching okay, but I mean, it's against Atlanta. It doesn't look that great for him. Milwaukee against Oakland versus Luis Medina. I think this is a great spot for anytime you kind of see any team playing the Athletics, you might as well just roster them. Um, Dodgers against Ranger Suarez looks good. Funk and I have this thing where we hate the Mets, but I mean, they're in a good spot against Rich Hill. Rich Hill is a guy, at least to what I remember, he doesn't get many strikeouts, but he can go deep into games. Wouldn't do that against the Mets. The Mets are supposed to be good, and they're really not. But I do kind of like Pittsburgh in this spot too against the Mets. Tyler Miguel is kind of up and down. You can never really figure out like what to do with him. Um, so Philly against the Dodgers. So it says that Michael Grove is starting, but Underdog MLB said that Victor Gonzalez will open up for the Dodgers on Friday. Michael Grove likely to follow. So I don't know who Victor Gonzalez is, but Philly kind of screwed us over yesterday in our lineup. If you wrote or you saw it on the Twitter, might as well go back to Philly here. Um, Baltimore looks good against Kansas City. I don't really know too much about Daniel Lynch, how good he's been. I'm gonna look it up really quick, but you know, Kansas City not a good ball club. They haven't looked great. Good spots. Let's see. Daniel Lynch is 8,000. He's actually been pretty consistent. He played against Washington. Excuse me. He's played against Washington, put up 28 fantasy points, won 5 1/3. June 3rd against Colorado, 5 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts. So he has the potential there, but I mean, you know, on this big of a slate, you don't really need to roster him. St. Louis against Ben Lively looks good. The only reason why that St. Louis and like Baltimore are down here more is because there's better matchups and stuff here and better team totals. St. Louis is a good like if you're running a 4-2-2 stack, St. Louis, I think, and even Baltimore could be like the 2-2 options that I kind of like. The Yankees, not having Aaron Judge, I don't really like them. The White Sox, I don't mind as much. My White Sox have been pretty hot recently. They've been performing well, so I don't even think that that's a bad spot for them. I know this Yuri Perez kid is supposed to be pretty damn good. He's a young pitcher, kind of on a crappy ball club, even though Miami's kind of surprised some people with the way they've been playing a little bit. Definitely not Washington against this AJ Smith-Shawver guy. I don't know who he is. Let's see. He had one start June 4th and he put up 16 fantasy points. There really isn't much to him. I think maybe Washington would be a little interesting here, but definitely doesn't look pretty. Houston against Logan Allen is a little interesting. Logan Allen, I think his last start he didn't do as hot, but other than that, he's been pretty consistent. And honestly, take out the Yankees. I'm not really liking any of these guys. Anything past the Cubs down, I don't really like either. So just kind of focus on the cores parts and maybe like these first 5 stacks and then kind of mix in some stuff around in this area. Just mix all that together. So I'm gonna go over some home run calls that I like for today. I'm gonna go with Matt Olson. I'm also gonna go with Juan Soto and Charlie Blackmon. You got that course factor there. Really like that. Um, I was gonna do something. Let me see here. So I want to show you guys really quick. Um, Pick'em Pro. So this is what, if you follow us on Twitter and you see Prize Picks plays have been posted, this is what we use to provide those. And if you watch any of these videos before, we kind of break stuff down and I kind of show you guys like, here's what they like for MLB today. I don't like this Javier play that much if I'm being honest, but I mean, they just give you like the data here, percentage of it hitting. You can also go to underdog. You can go to no house advantage. So this is a very good tool if you like to play prize picks, underdog. I know underdog has a Jimmy Butler to score a point promo, so you can definitely, take the over on that and mix in a couple of the baseball plays or NBA plays. You can see here. Highly recommended. I'll put the link in the description so you guys can take a look at it. This is very helpful and I highly recommend you guys at least trying it out and see if you like it. Just because sometimes there's just some props that you don't even know about that have a good percentage of winning. So just to kind of recap everything, with pitcher, there's a couple different options. Like I said, Shohei, Garrett Cole, Tyler Wells. Logan Allen's got a tough matchup against Houston, but he's been pretty good. Dylan Cease, I think, is a great bounce back spot for him. I'm not going to say you must roster him, but that's a good idea. If you're playing 150 lineups, you're playing more than one lineup, nothing wrong with trying to get Dylan Cease in there. Focus on Garrett Cole, Shohei Ohtani. I kind of like Tyler Wells as well. And then for stacks, I would just go with San Diego, Atlanta, Milwaukee be your top three priorities. Look at the Dodgers, Mets, Pittsburgh, Philly. So if you kind of go back into the video and you look at the stacks 12 that I shared on the screen, look for like Philly, Pittsburgh, Washington, Baltimore, and St. Louis as like your if you're running a 4-2-2 option. Don't have it be your primary stack, just kind of focus on that. Something too with these very big slates is like, we follow the data, we kind of do what the data tells us. Sometimes we get a little bit different with stuff, but I mean, there's a million different ways that you can go about this. So definitely do not be afraid to take shots on some stuff. If, for an example, if you like the Yankees versus Boston, go for it. Maybe not make them be your priority stack, but on these big slates, you can definitely be different. So that just about does it. So just make sure to like and subscribe, and I'm gonna put the Stokastic link in the description. So I'll put that in there for you guys if you want to get started on Pick'em Pro, or you want to look at all this data that I shared. And on the Twitter, about 10 to 15 minutes before the slate starts, we will drop our Fanduel lineup.